I raised my wife's daughter for 12 years. Then she cheated and told me to grow up and forgive her. Now she wants me at her daughter's wedding. Hi, Reddit. Opie here. This is a story I never imagined I'd be telling, but life has a strange way of unfolding. It's about betrayal, love, deception, and the strength it takes to walk away when no one else sees your value. I met Cassandra when I was 28 years old. She was a single mother to a little girl named Lily, just 3 at the time. Her ex, Lily's biological father, was already long gone by then. He'd vanished when she became pregnant and had never resurfaced. The idea of becoming a stepfather never scared me. In fact, I embraced it. It felt like a chance to build something real with someone who actually needed me, and I poured my heart into that role. By the time Lily turned 6, she had dropped the step completely. To her, I was just dad, not uncle, not mister, not anything else, just dad. I was there through it all. Scraped knees, birthday parties, school plays, sleepless nights during fevers. I never missed a moment. I taught her how to ride a bike. I went to every parent-teacher conference, every school pickup, and stood proudly on her first day of middle school. I showed up when Cassandra couldn't, whether she was too exhausted, too preoccupied, or simply too checked out. And yes, now that I look back, there were signs. Cassandra started working late more often. There were more weekend work retreats than made sense. She guarded her phone like it was state property. And whenever I tried to talk about it, I became the issue. You're being paranoid. You're too controlling. Why can't you trust me? Then one night, the truth landed in my lap. Her phone was charging on the kitchen counter, and a message lit up the screen. I guess she forgot to put it on silent. It was from someone named Travis. Last night was amazing. I can't stop thinking about you. I didn't yell. I didn't flip the table or cause a scene. I sat with it for 2 days, quietly weighing what I'd just seen and trying to decide how to move forward. When I finally confronted her, I stayed calm. At first, she denied everything. Then she gave in and admitted the affair had been going on for a few months. But what crushed me more than the betrayal itself was her complete lack of remorse. No apology, no shame, just deflection. You've changed. You're not as fun anymore. Travis makes me feel alive again. And when I told her I was leaving, she looked absolutely blindsided, as if I were the one destroying everything. Don't throw away 12 years over one mistake, she told me. Grow up. Forgive me. Lily needs you. That last part hit harder than anything else, because Lily was the one person I was thinking about. But I knew if I stayed, I'd grow bitter towards both of them. That wouldn't be fair to her or to me. So I packed my things and left. A week later, she messaged me, not to apologize, but to ask if I'd take Lily to her piano recital. I couldn't bring myself to reply. Not then. I was broken. I didn't eat for days. I sat alone, sifting through old photos and drawings Lily had made for me. One stood out, a crayon drawing of a stick figure family. Her, me, and Cassandra. It said, "Me and Mommy and Daddy." I still have that drawing. It lives in my desk drawer. Months passed. Then a year. I tried to heal. Therapy helped. So did my brother. I started traveling more for work and kept a low digital footprint. I went completely no contact with Cassandra. Lily did reach out a few times, but the tone of her messages felt distant, like I was an old colleague, not a father. She never asked why I left, never asked for my side. Maybe Cassandra had already painted her own version of the story. Maybe Lily just grew up and moved on. Maybe she blamed me for leaving. I'll never really know. Then last month, a letter arrived in the mail. Yes, an actual physical letter with Cassandra's name on the return address. Inside was a wedding invitation. Lily was getting married, and they wanted me to be there, not just as a guest, but to walk her down the aisle. I read that sentence over and over again, 5 times, maybe more. Then I sat on the couch and stared at nothing for hours. Because here's the truth. They don't want me there. They want the version of me who stayed. The one who swallowed the betrayal, smiled through the pain, and kept up the happy illusion. They want the photo op dad, the prop for a picture-perfect day. They want me to pretend the last few years never happened. Like I wasn't discarded. Like I didn't matter. I didn't reply. A week later, Cassandra called. Her voice sounded exactly the same, though I hadn't heard it in nearly 4 years. Lily really wants you there, she said. She still sees you as her father. I asked, did she ask for me, or did you put her up to this to ease your own conscience? There was a pause. Then she replied, does it matter? It did. So I asked one more thing. Did you ever tell Lily why I left? Another long pause. Then she answered, I told her it was complicated. Complicated. That's what she called it. Not cheating. Not betrayal. Not humiliation. Just complicated. I told her I wouldn't be attending. Not because I stopped loving Lily. Not to hurt anyone. But because they made their choices. Cassandra made hers. And Lily, whether manipulated or indifferent, never asked for the truth. Never gave me space to explain. Never tried to understand. So I ended the call. That night, I opened the drawer again and took out the drawing. Me, Mommy, and Daddy. I stared at it for a while, then gently placed it back and turned the key in the lock. People say forgiveness is noble. Maybe it is, but so is self-respect. And for the first time in a long while, I chose me. A few days after that final call, I received an email from Lily. No phone call, no text, just a distant, formal email. Hi, I'm disappointed you won't come to the wedding. She thought I'd forget. Instead, I let go. Her email hit harder than I expected. Not because of the words themselves, but because of what they made clear. I know things didn't end well between you and Mom, but that was between you two. I wish you were mature enough to keep that separate from what we had. That was from Lily. Not the tone, not the message. It was the meaning behind it. She didn't know the truth. The child I had raised for over a decade had no idea why I really left. Cassandra had rewritten the story, filled in the blanks with lies, and Lily believed every word. I sat with the message for a while, started typing a reply, deleted it, typed another version, deleted that too, over and over, until finally I kept it simple. Lily, I didn't leave you. I walked away from the lies. If you ever want to know the truth, I'm here. I hit send. No reply. But 2 days later, someone knocked at my door. It was Lily. She looked older, more grown up than I remembered. But in her eyes was something else. Not anger, not even disappointment. Just uncertainty. I want to talk, she said. We sat on the couch, mostly in silence. And then I told her everything. The message from Travis. The moment I confronted Cassandra. The way she spun it around to blame me. Her coldness. How she demanded forgiveness, like it was owed to her. Lily sat quiet, eyes fixed on the floor, like she couldn't believe what she was hearing. When I finally stopped, she looked up and said something that stopped me cold. But Mom said you cheated. I let out a laugh, not because it was funny, but because it was absurd. Cassandra hadn't just twisted the truth. She'd flipped the entire story on its head. She told you that? I asked. She said you were unfaithful, that you abandoned us. Lily looked like a child trying to erase a nightmare she couldn't wake up from. Why would she lie? She whispered. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Her face said she already knew, but it didn't stop there. She told me something else, something that shifted the ground again. She's not with Travis anymore. Hasn't been for a long time. He left her 6 months after you did. Just disappeared. Turns out, Travis wasn't some great love. He was a fling, a fantasy, a temporary escape that vanished as quickly as it came. And after that, Cassandra tried dating, but nothing stuck. People saw through the mask. She's not happy, Lily said quietly. Not really. I felt something close to pity for Cassandra. Almost. Then Lily hesitated. There's something else about the wedding. I braced myself. She looked at me and said, my real dad's back. I blinked. What? Mom tracked him down last year. She invited him to the wedding. She said it would mean a lot if he came. I sat there frozen. This wasn't about peace or closure. Cassandra didn't want me there to honor what I'd done. She wanted to curate a story A scene where both men stood beside her, as if we were props in her narrative. The man who left and the man who stayed, both orbiting her on the biggest day. She wanted to rewrite the past. Make herself the glue, the brave woman who endured and conquered. While I, who actually raised Lily, stood in the wings like a forgotten extra. So I asked, if he's back in your life, why did you come here? She didn't respond right away. Her eyes glistened, and she finally whispered, because he's a stranger. You're not. That nearly broke me. But I'd spent too long rebuilding myself to fall back into that storm. I looked at her and said gently, you don't owe her a perfect story, and I don't owe her silence. Lily left that night without saying much else, just a quiet goodbye. A week later, I got a text from an unknown number. It was Travis. Yeah, that Travis. Hey man, just wanted to say sorry. I didn't know you guys were still together. She told me you were in some open phase, or whatever. Never said anything about you raising her kid. If I'd known, I wouldn't have touched that mess. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. That message was a final nail in the coffin Cassandra built with her own hands. Then, a week before the wedding, another email arrived, this time from Lily. It was short, direct. You were right about everything. I told Mom not to come to the wedding, and I asked him not to walk me down the aisle. I'm walking alone. It feels right. Thank you for being my real dad. I'm sorry it took me this long to say it. I stared at that message until the screen went dim. Then I let out the breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. She finally saw the truth and chose for herself. Not Cassandra's version. Not anyone else's. Hers. I didn't go to the wedding, but I did send something. An old photo of the two of us at the zoo. She was 8, sitting on my shoulders, smiling wide. On the back, I wrote, you've always known how to stand tall. I'm proud of you. No dramatic reunion. No spotlight moment. Just peace. And honestly, that's something I never thought I'd find.